What's up, guys? It's Margaret. As we make our way through the school year, staying organized as a college student can be super difficult. That's why today, I'll be walking you through a bunch of spreads and layouts that will keep you organized with your classes and extracurricular activities. But before I get started, make sure you subscribe to 17's YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any future bullet journaling tips and tricks. The first layout I want to show you guys is a combined class information and class schedule page. This page will have all the information you need to make sure that you get to class on time and go to the right room. To begin this spread, I drew 6 small boxes towards the middle of the page to start my class info section. I then created 6 boxes that intersected with the smaller box and made all the boxes 3-dimensional by giving them a drop shadow. I love creating drop shadows because they give more depth to the page. Next, I made a horizontal line 2 boxes down from the first horizontal line and a vertical line that divides the box in half. After that, fill in each small box and each top section with the same color. This will act as your color code for each class. After I finished coloring in the boxes, I wrote the name of the corresponding class. Then I wrote out what I would put in the class info section, which is the professor's name, the professor's email, their office hours, the room number of the class, building name, and the time the class takes place. After I finished my class info section, I moved on to my class schedule. The way I did this was I first drew out 2 clocks. A helpful trick I learned is to use the bottom of a cup to make the outline of the clock. After I drew the outer edge of the clock, I thickened the outer edge and then added numbers and hands to each clock. I labeled the top clock Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the bottom clock Tuesday and Thursday. All you have to do to use this spread is shade in the clock with the hours of the day that your class is in. Label this spread as class schedule at the top. This spread is key to have as a college student because it will have all the information you will need in one place. This is especially helpful at the beginning of any semester, whether you are a freshman or a senior. The biggest difference between high school and college is you no longer have teachers reminding you of your assignments. So once you get that syllabi, it's all on you to make sure you do the work. To ensure that you never miss another assignment and to help you plan out your coursework, a great spread to have is an assignment log. So now I'm going to show you how I did mine. Draw a horizontal line across both pages 7 boxes down from the top. Then draw a second horizontal line 2 boxes below that. Draw one last horizontal line across the bottom of both pages. The next step is to draw 2 vertical lines on each side to divide the page into 6 sections that are 12 boxes wide. Then fill in the top section with a color and write your course name. After that, draw horizontal lines for each section. This is where you can write out all the assignments you have for the year and their due dates. I moved on and labeled the page assignment log and finished the page by drawing leaves around the title. To draw these leaves, I drew several squiggly lines all around the page and made little circles for the leaves. And then I just colored them in green. I love this spread because you can see all of your assignments all at once. Obviously, you're going to need to study if you want to ace your exams. That's why I thought it would be a great idea to have a page in your bullet journal where you could track the amount of hours you studied and how well you performed on the exams to compare the two. The top of the page is going to be dedicated to my study log. So the first thing I did was draw a horizontal line 30 to 31 boxes long depending on what month you're in. Next, I drew a vertical line that was 14 boxes tall. On the x-axis, I wrote the days of the month, and on the y-axis, I wrote the number of hours I studied. To finish off this section, I just titled it Study Log at the top. On the bottom of the page, I drew 2 rounded boxes that are 11 by 10, and then above that, I drew 3 of the same size boxes. These boxes are going to be mini calendars for the first semester of school, but of course, you can do this for any semester. I drew a horizontal line at the very top of each box and then drew a little thumbtack. Next, I filled in the top of the box with a light color and wrote the days of the week in that box. After that, I wrote the name of the month vertically on each box and filled in the days of the month. To finish these up, I added a drop shadow to the left edge of the box, making sure to not cover the name of the month. And lastly, I wrote test tracker above the mini calendars. To use this spread, create a key in the remaining space on the bottom of the page. Then write the name of your class in a box next to it. Assign a color to that class, and then whenever you have an exam, you color the date in the mini calendar with the color of the class you have the test in. This method is the same for the study log as well. To embellish this page, I continued drawing my go-to leaf doodles, and then I just colored them in green. I also highlighted the name of the month to make it pop. In college, I was always really nervous about how I was doing in a class, and I didn't have a consistent way to check my grades. So one spread that I think will be super helpful for any college student is a grade tracker. What I did first was I divided the page into 4 sections, 9 boxes wide. To do this, I drew 2 thin vertical lines to divide each section. I made sure to leave room at the bottom for some fun doodle leaves that I'm going to draw later. After that, I drew 1 horizontal line at the top and another horizontal line 2 boxes below that. Following that, I filled in each box with a different colored marker. It's important to always use lighter colors when you know you want to write over it, so that the black doesn't bleed and you can see the title clearly. Then I wrote date, class, test, and grade in each of the large boxes at the top. The next step I took was to write grade tracker at the top of the page. To spice up the page a bit, I drew some fun leaf doodles at the bottom of the page. I incorporated the same leaves from the previous page and also incorporated some new styles of leaves. Lastly, I created horizontal lines in each section so that I can keep everything neat and organized. I also wanted to do this step last because I didn't want the lines to intersect with the leaves. When I was in college, something that was always in the back of my mind was how many courses I had completed towards graduating and finishing my major. I would make list after list on several different sheets of paper that were never in the same place. That's why I thought it would be great for every student to have a running course tracker. The way I did this was I drew 1 small square and 1 large rectangle. The first box will be 16 by 16 and the second box will be 16 by 38. Then I drew a drop shadow behind each box and colored it in black. To create my running list, I drew horizontal lines for each course name, making sure to stop the line 3 boxes from the right. This space on the right side will be used as a way to check off each course after you have completed it. To indicate that, I drew 2 vertical lines of checkboxes. To make this course tracker a bit more fun and satisfying, I drew a mason jar in the empty space in the corner. Now, every time I complete a course, I can draw a little firefly in the jar. Surrounding the boxes and the jar, I incorporated the leaves I had used on the prior 2 pages. Lastly, I wrote course tracker on the top of the page in a skinny and simple font. Then I just colored in the whole page. I didn't know this when I was in college, but usually you can find all of the classes you need to take for your major on your school's website or from your advisor. Once you find this information, you can use it to fill out this layout. And then, once you've completed the class, you can draw your fun little firefly. Using fireflies to track how many classes you need to complete in order to graduate is a super fun way to see your progress. They're cute, satisfying, and fun to draw. One of the best ways to make new friends and boost your resume is to partake in extracurricular activities. But sometimes juggling all of your commitments can be very tricky. So to make sure you never miss a beat, here's how to organize your extracurricular activities and volunteer hours in your bullet journal. The first thing I did was draw 3 boxes 16 by 10 at the top of the page, making sure to leave room at the top for my title. About 7 boxes below that, I drew a box that was 16 by 32. Next, I divided that box in half by drawing a line down the middle. And following that, I drew another 2 vertical lines, one placed 2 boxes to the left of the middle line and the other 2 boxes from the right end of the box. I filled in this section with horizontal lines that are 2 boxes tall. Next, in the 3 boxes on the top, I filled each of the boxes with horizontal lines. I know it can be very tedious to draw all of these horizontal lines, but it will keep your page neat and you organized. After that, I wrote extracurricular to do above the 3 small boxes and volunteer hours above the bottom box. With a bright yellow marker, I colored in the top sections of each small box and the 2 small vertical columns in the volunteer hours box. Then I labeled each section with an extracurricular. I wrote sorority, student newspaper, and theater. To embellish this page, I continued drawing my go-to leaf doodles, but also added in some fun lemons to the vines of the leaves. You know what they say, when life hands you lemons, make a bujo spread with lemons on it. Lastly, I colored in the rind of the lemon with a bright yellow and the inside of the lemon with an orange yellow. I hope this video helps you stay on point and organized this semester. And if you have any college-themed spreads that you want me to try out, please let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure you subscribe to 17's YouTube channel for more bullet journaling tips and tricks. See you next week!